Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I'm talking about my most anticipated April book releases. So I have a head cold, and I'm drinking the absolute most feral cold drink thing that my husband made me. It's like a sachet. It's the color of a yellow highlighter, and it tastes like Gatorade that went off and is super bitter. So it better freaking work, otherwise I'm gonna be upset that I drank it. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a lower energy video. But there are so many books out in April that I wanted to bring to your attention. I couldn't limit myself to just 10, so I chose 15. And there are, I think, equally that number in the honorable mentions down below. So that's like, I don't know, 30 recommendations in total. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's in order from the beginning of the month to the end of the month in publication order. If you hear young children screaming, that is not our daughter, that is our neighbor's grandchildren, and they are having the time of their life. So, first up is one out March 31st, which I just decided to slip it in because like it's basically April. This is Prince of the Sorrows by Kellen Graves. And there's a lot of reasons why this caught my attention. First off, the cover. Like when I saw it, I was like, what is that book about? And so yeah, the cover is amazing. And this is a MM Fae story. So it's basically like you need an academic endorsement to be useful to Fae. And Saffron has basically hijacked the system to learn how to read. But because he doesn't have an endorsement, he's going to be sent back to humans, which is really bad. Like, he doesn't want to go back there. So mistaken identity leads to him learning the true name of the High Fae Prince, Calvin. And then they're going to strike a deal after that. So I think it just looks absolutely freaking excellent. And what also drew my attention is whenever I look up where the authors are from, and how they identify, Kellen Graves identifies as a queer agender forest demon and goes by they, she, he pronouns. So yeah, sounds absolutely great. And then after that, I wanted to talk about, I'll just mention it briefly. You know who this is. This is Ruby Dixon's new book. So yeah, she wrote Ice Planet Barbarians. I read a few of them, but they're not like super special, but they're a good time is how I would put that. And she has a new series and it's called The Half-Orc's Maiden Bride. So it's like a lady, she's poor and very tall, but her father finds a bridegroom for her, one who is more tall, also known as taller, strong and bold and wealthy. And then turns out he's an orc. So it sounds like a fun time. After that, now we're getting into more like serious books. So this is Young Mungo, by Douglas Stuart, who I've never read before, but I know he wrote, I think, Shiggy Bane. Isn't that it? Yeah. And this is a story of queer love in working class families. So it's following two boys who are in working class, in Glasgow. Only one is a Protestant and one is a Catholic. They should have been sworn enemies, yet over racing pigeon birds, they become like very dear friends, and then something more. And I think it sounds absolutely wonderful. I got it on NetGalley and I'm really looking forward to reading this in April. And it has absolutely excellent reviews so far. And then after that is one that is, I believe, a female killer at a school. So this is My Dearest, Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. So it says Wilder Girls meets The Craft in this sapphic horror debut. So Finch is a transfer student to an academy, but she's not what she seems. Months before school started, her and her parents got into an accident and she should have drowned at the bottom of a river, but something terrifying, monstrous, and ancient wouldn't let her drown. So she woke up after her heart stopped, but since then she's felt a constant pull from the school and the surrounding town, like something on the island is calling to her. So then there's a girl at the school who knows that something is wrong with Finch, and she's drawn towards her. I do love possession stories, and yeah, I like female killers. Like in academic settings like aren't my favorite because I think they can be cliche, but everything can be cliche if it's done wrong. Speaking of cliches though, okay, this is just a bit of a lighthearted romp. So I saw this on NetGalley and I couldn't help myself. It's called Bionic, and it's a sci-fi rom-com by Jess K. Hardy. And it says, 1 billion stars, 2 hearts, only 1 cave, which is so funny to me. So it's a half-human bionic, Ilani, and she's on a deep space pleasure cruise, and then she gets thrown into the path of the physician aboard the ship named Sem, an empath from the ocean planet Portis. It says, okay, with the fun of an off-ship Star Trek episode, the intrigue of the Murderbot Diaries, and the heat of Ice Planet barbarians, Bionic is sure to please lovers of both sci-fi and romance. So yeah, I just think it sounds so fun and I couldn't not request it, and I did get granted it this morning, so I will be reading that in April as well. And now we're gonna take a little break and I'm gonna sip some tea, just as a little interlude because I'm actually dying. Like, okay, I'm dying. It's okay. How is your day going? Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Ugh, tastes like ass. Tastes like ass. All right, let's get back into it. Next up is The Girls Are Pretty Crocodiles by Angela Readman. So this is a collection of short stories. And what really drew me to it is that there is an illiterate woman who's selling fairy tales for a book she knows she will never have her name on the cover. A class takes lessons on dating invisible girls. Women learn to be origami, climb into swan skins, feed wolves, flip burgers, and snog kelpies. Yeah, I just think that it sounds really strange and bizarre and weird, and the cover is also bizarre and weird, and I really like that. Also, fun fact, there are 2 books on this list randomly that have crocodile in the title, which is so weird. Like, out of all the animals, why would that be on the title? Anyway, yeah, moving on. And then we have And Then I Woke Up by Malcolm Devlin. So this has mixed reviews, but I did request it from NetGalley and we'll be reading it this month. So it is in a world reeling from a plague. Monsters lurk in the streets while terrified survivors arm themselves and roam in packs. Or is something different happening? The disease affects how reality is perceived, so it's hard to be certain of anything. Spence is one of the cured living at the Ironside Rehabilitation Facility. He's haunted by guilt, and he can't tell truth from lies. So how will he earn his redemption of what he's done if he doesn't know if what he's doing is making things worse? So I just think it sounds really fascinating, and I love an unreliable narrator, and the cover is suitably extremely creepy. And next I have 2 that I did talk about in my translated treasure trove video, so I'll leave that linked down below. I talked about like 17 upcoming or new translations that are out that caught my attention, and they all sound absolutely wonderful. And 2 of them happen to be out this month. So first up we have Violets by Shin Kyung-Sook, translated by Anton Her. This is rural South Korea in the 1970s. A young girl is ostracized from her community. She meets another girl and they become friends until one afternoon changes everything when there's some physical intimacy and rejection. And it says it's a story of desire and violence about a young woman who everyone forgets. Captivating and sensual read, full of tragedy and beauty. So yeah, I think it sounds absolutely wonderful. And then after that, we also have Concerning My Daughter by Kim Hye-Jin, translated by Jamie Chang, also out from South Korea. And this also has female queer rep, so fabulous. So this is about an aging mother who allows her 30-something daughter to move into her apartment. But when the daughter brings home her girlfriend, the mother can't approve of their relationship. because she wants her daughter to be happy and to like have children. And then this is juxtaposed against the mother's job, which is a caretaker in an elderly home. And one of the patients is a woman who doesn't have a family. So then all the other like nurses say like, oh, there's no need to go out of your way for her because she doesn't have any family. So like, you don't have to respect her as much because there's no one to look out for her, blah, blah, blah. And the mom is like, I don't agree with that at all. Just because she doesn't have children or anything doesn't mean you respect her less. So I'm hoping that the mother then realizes the implications for treating her own daughter with respect. I'm hopeful that that's how it goes. I love the cover as well. It's absolutely amazing. And then we have the other Crocodile book that I was talking about. And this is giving me such my absolute darling vibes for some reason. So this is The Crocodile Bride by Ashleigh Bell Pedersen. It says, set during the swampy summer of 1982, this novel follows 11-year-old Sunshine and her troubled father Billy as the secrets of their family's past swirl around them in the town of Fingertip, Louisiana. During a hot summer of June moods, grubworms, and dark storms, Sunshine discovers stones in her chest and learns the dangers of coming of age will bring about in the yellow house she shares with her father. Without the vocab to comprehend his actions or her changing body, Sunshine turns to a story passed down from her grandmother. In the dark waters of the Black Bayou lives a crocodile with the insatiable appetite and a woman with a mysterious healing gift. As Sunshine's summer unspools, she turns to the one person she will need no explanation of the family secret she carries, the Crocodile Bride. It is at once heartbreakingly tender, coming-of-age tale and a lyrical haunting reflection on generational trauma. Yeah, it sounds really, 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 really good. If I had to pick, probably on this whole list, this one and one that I'm going to talk about soon are probably the ones that are my most anticipated. Yeah, this one just sounds absolutely excellent. All right, next we have Wasps in the Ice Cream by Tim McGregor, which sounds absolutely like, look at that cover. Wasps in the ice cream. Okay, gross. So it's summer 1987, and Mark wants to avoid his dad's new wife and waste time with his friends. They decide to pull a prank on the Pharaoh sisters, who are seen as a bit of outcasts. But Mark feels bad about it and is drawn to make amends, and when he does, he becomes friends with one of the sisters named George. He's a practicing witch who uses folk magic to protect her family. They bond and then decide to, as you would, have a seance. Keeping the relationship secret, he learns that living a double life is impossible. When the secret is exposed, his friends plot to punish the witch sisters for stealing one of their own, and Mark is forced to choose between these two worlds. Yeah, it sounds dark. It's rated as horror as the top shelf rather than fantasy, so I bet it gets dark. So next up is the cutest one by far on this list. This is Every Word You Never Said by Jordan Green. So this takes place in high school, and it involves Jacob, who doesn't give a damn. He came out over summer, and his dad is absolutely being a complete hateful asshole, but he refuses to let him hold him back. So he's going to paint his nails, dye his hair, and strike a heavy riff on his guitar if he wants to, even if his father grounds him the whole year. However, when a cute nonverbal transfer student, Skylar, wears a skirt to school, prompting a sexist dress code, Jacob decides it's time to take a stand, no matter the risk to himself or his father's bullying. Yeah, so I think it sounds like really precious. And then next up is... Ooh, so Evil Children thriller Frankenstein retelling. Get ready. This is The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon, I think. I've never read her before, but apparently like she's very popular and I'm just out of the loop. So a genre-defying new novel inspired by Frankenstein, which explores the eerie mysteries of childhood and the evils perpetuated by monsters among us. So 1978, At her renowned treatment center in Vermont, the brilliant psychiatrist Dr. Helen Hildreth is acclaimed for her passionate work with the mentally ill. But when she is home with her cherished grandchildren, she's just Gran. Then one day, Gran brings home a child to stay with the family, Iris. She is silent, hollow-eyed, skittish, and feral, and does not behave like a normal girl. Still, Violet, one of her grandchildren, is thrilled to have a new playmate. She and Eric invite Iris to join their monster club, where they catalog all kinds of monsters and dream up ways to defeat them. Before long, Iris comes out of her shell, and they do everything together. Even hunt down secret monsters, because as Vi explains, monsters are everywhere. I think it sounds absolutely wonderful. It has super high ratings of nearly like 450 reviews, so I'm very, very, very interested about it. Okay, penultimately, we have A Veil of Gods and Kings by Nicole Bailey. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie at all. I'm 75% of the way through this one, and this is my current favorite book of the year so far. It came out of absolutely freaking nowhere, okay? So get ready for this, get hyped, get ready. So this is an Apollo retelling. So Apollo is a deity almost. He's half mortal, but he's refusing to transition into being the sun god. But Zeus offers him an ultimatum: ascend immediately or spend a year mentoring under the obnoxious Prince Hyacinth, who knows how to act in like court and be a good son. So they're forced together, and it's very much like they can't stand each other, but the tension, the sweet, sweet tension. So as Apollo and Hyacinth grapple with their mutual disdain for each other, a kindling of irritation begins to burn into something else. So this is a reimagining of the Greek myth of Apollo and Prince Hyacinth. This is new adult enemies to lovers fantasy. And I can just tell you that it's freaking excellent. It's freaking excellent. I, at the beginning of the month of March, read it to 75%, and then I got so nervous about what was going to happen to the characters that I actually, haven't read it for like 3 weeks because I'm just terrified. Alright, and last up is Madman Necessary Evils number 5 by Onley James. This is a series that follows like a billionaire who adopted a bunch of children who had markers for psychopathic tendencies, and he trained them to be like elite killers of murderers, rapists, pedophiles, like really bad people. So each book is focused on one of the brothers as an adult, and when they run into like someone that they become obsessed with or that they like fall in lust or love with. And this one is focused on one of the twins, who is a fashion designer, and then Felix, who is the baby brother of one of the guys who married another one of the brothers. It's a little confusing, but anyway, I really liked their energy because the one who's like the little brother is like, I don't care about anything, I'm so cool, whatever, and then like the other one just ignores the shit out of him. And I love that trope where someone is trying to be like, it's like one of my dog's acts, honestly, the Chihuahua. She'll ignore you pointedly, but she keeps like looking back over her shoulder to like let you know that despite her body being turned away, she does want you to give her attention, but she wants you to know that she's ignoring you. It's that kind of energy, so I'm here for it, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, so those are the 15 that are at the top of my list. There's a whole mix of like horror, translated, and romance, and queerness. So yeah, I hope that you found some books, and I hope that you're having a good weekend. I don't know when this will go up. I'm not sure. It depends on just life. I don't really like to stress myself out with like a schedule. So when I get around to it is when I get around to it. And yeah, wish me luck in overcoming my cold because this shit is so gross. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you have a good day and that you're not having a cold like I am. And without further ado, I will see you in another video soon. Lots of love. Bye!